Turn it and pop with 3 fingers. Pop and 3. Touch it. Sila na yung papayag na kumuha ng paint from the paint bottle. And then we're down to the last material, cardboard boxes. In this video, we're gonna look at ways on how we turn these materials into purposeful play activities and the benefits that your children will get on each one of them. Now we're down to our last material, the cardboard boxes. And cardboard boxes come in a variety of sizes. Pwede yung sobrang laki from your brand new TV or your fridge, or pwede rin smaller boxes coming from your oven or yung shoe boxes natin. And you can make use of them in so many different ways. Kahit wala ka pang i-present sa bata, ibigay mo lang yung box, ang dami na nilang maisip. I want you to try that one out first before we move on to the other activities. The first activity that I want to do that all kids love would be to make use of a box and pretend it's a vehicle. So you can start with a rocket ship or an ambulance, a bus, a police car, whatever car they want, and you could let them ride in the box and then push them around in the box. Now, I know it's very useful when you work with pretend play that you can let them be wild and just imagine whatever they want to imagine. But why not take it a step further and this time make it some sort of reality for them as we turn this box into a vehicle? You can start by asking your kid what their favorite vehicle is, or just try to observe them which vehicles they want to play with. And then you can think of a design and you can do it together. You can come up first with the materials, draw the outline, and then help you paint the box. So now we're gonna turn this cardboard box into a police car today. Since we have it blue, we can just add some yellow accents and some white parts that will turn into windows. We just need paint for the stars and the detail that will make it look like a police car. So we'll start here with a big star on the side of the truck. For bigger kids, you would want to use the bigger boxes. And instead of using paint, you might want to use colored paper because you're gonna use tubs and tubs of paint for bigger boxes. So I'm gonna add some details here so you might not be able to see it yet, but later you'll see how our police car box would look like. We're just gonna add a label here that says police and add the wheels. You can also use paper plates, but since we have a smaller cardboard box today, we're just gonna draw them on. And in front, we're gonna add here the siren, the lights, the windshield, and the headlights. And also at the back, just a big rectangle for the glass and the rear lights. Now time for us to paint. We're gonna put the label now. We have police. So we're now painting the front windshield. And here would be the lights. Done with the front now. So let's go to the side. Oh, we're also done with the back part. So we'll just focus on the details on the side of the police car. We're gonna draw here the wheels and also the checkered strip. And that's it, we're done with our police car. And as you can see, it looks so good. I love how it looks now. And there are so many benefits that you can get when your kids will play with these pretend vehicles. Because first off, you will have a lot of pretend play time. They can pretend to be a policeman. You can catch some bad guys in the house, or so you can use it during hide and seek. You can add a bit of rule where the people who are hiding will be caught by the policeman who will ride this car. Another one is for you to add a lot of social play. So even if a kid is younger, you can have them observe already how policemen work. So that would encourage them to be observant about how other people act, how they behave, and they would also learn to have that skill being used in other roles. So they would be more observant about the traffic enforcer, the cashier, the security guard, the teacher, the dentist, the doctor when they're out and about in the community. So for this one, you can also have a lot of the play skills and the social skills that they can use with other kids, especially if they have siblings. You can already work on sharing the same toy. You can also have turn taking, and that means you can also work in their waiting ability. So one kid can be the policeman and they can ride the car while their sibling could be pushing them around, which would be fun for both kids, and you can even join them. Okay, if it's a bigger box, you can have two kids jump in and then you would be pushing them around or pulling the box and just have a fun time the entire day. The third benefit would be to have your kid use this as a storage box for their toys. So you can tell them to be the policeman and go around the community collecting all their toys and keep them inside the box. So even if it's an ambulance, you can just say collect all your sick stuffed toys, put them here, or maybe a garbage truck and collect all the garbage, or a bus collecting all the passengers. So you can have them be creative and still work on targeting their packing away. Lastly, you can have the car or the vehicle as a transition tool. So you can say, oh, it's time to go to this new activity, time for us to brush your teeth. Let's ride the police car and then we'll park it beside the bathroom, and then time for us to go and brush our teeth. And then we're gonna ride the police car again, go to the bedroom, and then it's time for us to sleep. Now we're gonna go to our next activity using the cardboard boxes, and put aside first our police car here, and we'll go use another box. So this one would be smaller. You can do this with very small boxes, especially shoe boxes, which I love because they're very easy to store. And what I want to do with smaller boxes would be to use them as story boxes or even visuals for your nursery rhymes. So for today, we're gonna use this box as a visual for the nursery rhyme Incy Wincy Spider. So what you can do first is to secure all the flaps to the sides, just so you can have a lot of room to paint the inside of the box. Because what you want to do is to have all the parts of the story or the song inside, so that after you're finished making it, you can just store it and get it out every time you want to use it. Now we're gonna use some colored paper that we can draw on and cut out so that we can paste here all the parts that we need for the song. Since we're gonna work with Incy Wincy Spider, we're gonna need a water spout that he can climb on. We're gonna have the clouds here for the rain, and we're gonna have Mr. Sun and Mr. Spider himself. So now we're gonna put all the big parts here, and we can start with the spout. So I'm gonna put tape here. Oopsie. This is from cling wrap that I had, and I'm gonna reuse it as a spout. So I'm gonna put double-sided tape and put it in the box. And now we're gonna paint the inside of the box. Now we're gonna put this aside first for the paint to dry while we prepare all the parts that we're gonna need for the song. So what we're gonna make today would be the spider, the sun, the clouds, and maybe some raindrops. We're gonna use the remaining paper that we had from earlier, and we're gonna draw here this time all the parts that we need. So now we have the cloud, we have the sun, and now we're gonna go to the spider. So for the spider, we need to draw the head, the body, and we're gonna add 8 legs. Now time to cut them out. We're gonna keep the cloud this color. We're gonna paint the sun and also the spider. Gonna leave Mr. Sun to dry. This time we're gonna go to the spider. So now we have the clouds, you have the sun and the spider. We just need to glue the 8 eyes on the spider. And we have here some googly eyes here that we can glue on the head. Now we're just gonna add some finishing touches. We're gonna glue the raindrops on the rain cloud, and that will be the last thing we need for our story box. There you go. So now we have all the parts that we need. We have the story box, we have the clouds, the sun, and the spider. We just need to do some taping and then we're done. And that's it. We have our spider with 8 legs and 8 eyes, and now we can sing our song already. Let's go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sing the song, and your kids can have the spider and they can move it around the box while they listen to you sing. So if they're younger, you can introduce and work on directional concepts. That's one benefit. So you can have climb up, go down, sun's out, rain's pouring down. So you can work on directional concepts, especially with this song. Another one would be if they're older, you can already let them sing the song, and you can even work with more complex stories with a lot more characters and a storyline. I love to start with the Three Little Pigs, or maybe Goldilocks and the Three Bears. But for today, we're gonna focus on singing this song. Another benefit that you can have would be memory and sequencing. So this would be easier to remember since we only have a few parts. But for longer stories, that would work on them having to remember the first, the next, the last, or even stories with a lot more steps happening in the plot line. That will be very important, particularly for working on expressive communication skills. You can start first with telling the story and having them repeat it back to you. Next one would be have them read from a book and tell it back to you. And lastly, you can have a story that they made on their own. Now, I'm gonna show to you how you can use this with your kid while singing the song. So you give them Mr. Spider. You can start first with pointing out the parts and also counting the parts on the spider. You can start with, where's Mr. Spider? Here he is. Where's Mr. Sun? Here he is. Where's Mr. Cloud? Here he is. And where's the spout? There, at the back of the box. Now we have Mr. Spider. Let's count the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're gonna do it with the eyes as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go. We're gonna put Mr. Sun up here first, and the clouds up here, and let's sing. Incy Wincy Spider went up the water spout. Up, 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 up. Down came the rain. Down. Let them pull it down. And wash the spider out. Let's pull that out. Came the sun and dried up all the rain. So the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Let's go, break it down. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Britannia down came the rain and washed the spider out. Bye bye. Out came the sun and dried out all the rain. So the itsy bitsy spider went out the cloud again. The spout again. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Let's go. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. So the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Yay! Another activity we can work on with the box would be to use it as a goal. Okay, so you can have it as a target for the kid. You can cut out holes here, and we can use it as holes where they can shoot the balls that you play with. So we can have these curves cut out. It will be a little harder to cut the boxes. Most kids who are just starting out learning how to cut would have a hard time with it, so you can do the cutting for them, especially that cardboard boxes are a little too thick for them to cut. Okay, so now we can have the balls, okay, and use the holes as our targets. For older kids, we can even assign scores for the holes. So maybe we can have here 5 points for the left hole and 10 points for the right hole. Or you could also have smaller holes and assign a bigger score since it's more difficult to shoot in the smaller holes. So This time, we're gonna have it there as the target. Okay? So, one thing you could do would be just to roll the balls in. So, 1, 2, I got 10 points. Next, 5 points. 10, oopsie, no points for that one. Now, we can place the box in one part of the room and have it as a target. So this will be your goal. For older kids, you can already assign scores like 5 for the left hole and 10 for the right hole. Or you can also have smaller holes for a bigger score, since it's harder to shoot them when the goal is much smaller. So let's say, for example, you can start first with just rolling. They can roll the ball into the target. So there it goes, 10 points. Next one. So I want to shoot in 5. So you just keep rolling the ball. So that's it with them using their hands. Another thing that you could do would be to kick the balls. Okay, so you can just put it there, let them kick the ball. Okay, and lastly would be to have the balls and look for something long. So for now, we're gonna use this, our ever trusty cartolina paper. Ang dami niyang purpose today. And you can use it like it's gold. Oopsie. Medyo mahirap. Ayun. So hard. That's it. So as you can see, you can primarily work on the gross motor skills for your kids. The rolling, the kicking, using this as a pretend goal. And so that's benefit number 1, gross motor skills. Benefit number 2 would be the social skills part. You can have multiple players for this game. As long as you have a lot of balls. Even if you have a few balls, you can work on turn-taking skills for that one. Number 3 would be for you to work on frustration tolerance. As you can see, I had a lot of trials before I was able to shoot the ball. And with that, you can develop resilience in your kids and the way that they keep doing something again and again and again until they achieve their goal. And as you can see, it was very quick. You can also pack it away quickly and then also have different modes that you can play with using just one setup. For even older kids, you can also work on addition. So if you have 5 and 10 here, you can work on skip counting. Or if you could assign another number, like maybe 3 points for the left, 4 points for the right. Every time somebody shoots, you can work on addition, letting them add all the scores that somebody collects. And that's it for how we turn what used to be trash, the cardboard boxes, bubble wraps, and our paper bags, into toys that you can have fun playing with throughout the day. If you want to share your child's artwork, you can tag OT Cesar on these platforms. And I'm very excited to see your child grow. This has been OT Cesar, your pediatric occupational therapist, online playmate, and your chief growth officer, giving you your OTTTT, Occupational Therapy Tools and Tips Thursdays. Bye! See you next Thursday!